All right, this one's a little difficult to kind of see, so I'm going to do the force diagram over here. There's a lot of words, it's tough to get through there, but if you look, we have a tendon going up, and it has 60 newtons on it. And we also have a tendon going down, and it also has 60 newtons on it. And they're telling us there's an angle in here of 42 degrees. Now the kneecap pushes out. I'm going to draw on top of this picture. Hopefully it works. The kneecap pushes against the patella like that. So this, you might not have known that, but that comes out like that. That knee pushes on it there. So really, we got a lot going on here. We do have an angle of 42, and I don't know what this one is. However, what you can do is figure out this. Oh, I forgot the newtons up here. This newton, this is all y. This has a y here, and whatever's left over will be this y over here, and that's going to be pushing down. This has some x to it, which has to be exactly that x. Alright, so let's do the sum of the forces in the x direction equals 0. If I can figure out what this piece is, so I'm going to say we'll call this, I'm going to label these T1, T2, only because then T3 will be our unknown. So I'm going to call that T2X, T2X minus T3X equals 0. I can figure out what T2X is. Oh, the phone is ringing. Because when I rearrange this, it's going to be T2X equals T3X. So if I can figure out what this is, I'm home free. I'm going to come over here, step 2. I'm just going to do this one. I know that it's adjacent, so the cosine of 42 degrees equals adjacent, which is T2X divided by hypotenuse, which is 60 newtons. Let's get T2, whoa, not 600, 60 newtons. So 60 newtons times the cosine of 42 equals T2X. It should be smaller, right? 60 times the cosine of 42, and I get T2X equaling 44.6 newtons. So T3X equals the same thing. T3X equals 44.6 newtons. It would be negative because it's going in the other way. So I know that this is 44.6. And now it gets tricky because I have to do sum of the forces in the y direction equals 0. So what are all my forces? I have 60 newtons going up, and I have T2y going down, and I also have T3y going down, and that equals 0. So if I could substitute in make that a little smaller there. If I could find either one of these, I'd be home free. So I am going to come over here and find out what this is, what T2y is. Now, at this point, you have two of them. You could go 60 newtons squared. minus, what did we say, 44.6 newtons squared equals T2y squared. 60 squared minus 44.6 squared, square root answer. And I get 40.1 newtons for T2y. So this equals 40.1 newtons. Now let's stick that in here and go 60 newtons minus 40.1 newtons equals T3y. That's like what, 19.9 newtons equals T3y, which is right here. That's 19.9 newtons. So they want to know what this is. So, oh my God, I've got to go. This is just a right triangle now. 44.6 newtons squared plus 19.9 newtons squared equals hypotenuse, which we're going to call T3. 44.6, square that bad boy, plus 19.9, square that boy, square root answer, and I get T3 equaling 48.8 newtons. Long problem, but well worth it. Bye-bye.